Go live. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Stout Field here at Fort Bliss, Texas, in the 11th edition of the World Military Women's Football Championship. I'm Van Stokes, and tonight we're glad you could join us. Hard to believe, but it's day 4 of the Women's Military World Cup, and tonight in our second game of the evening, the United States will take on Team Canada. As the teams take the field, let's go now to our opening introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CISM, the International Military Sports Council, welcome to Stout Field, and this, the 4th day of competition in the 2018 World Military Women's Football Championship. As they come on to the pitch, would you please welcome the 2 teams from Group A in tonight's competition. They are the women's military teams from Canada and the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise for the playing of the national anthem for Canada, and please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States. With the CISM motto of friendship through sports fully alive here at Fort Bliss, Texas, we wish the best for each of the teams in their challenge to win the 2018 Military World Cup. This championship, ladies and gentlemen, is being conducted as a part of the Council International du Sport Militaire, known in English as the International Military Sports Council, and referred to around the world by its acronym CISM. With 138 member countries, CISM conducts more than 20 military world championships for its member nations each year, all under the motto of friendship through sports. And with soccer fever running high around the world, perhaps there are few CISM competitions that are more prestigious than winning the Military World Cup. Again, best of luck to our teams tonight. So those are the introductions of our two teams as they have come onto the pitch from the United States of America. And from our neighbor to the north, Canada, two teams who will be looking for their first win here in the 2018 edition of the CISM Women's World Football Championship. Canada tonight will have in the goal Alex Hogg. She will be joined by Emily Owen, Jessica Hahn, Laura Imhoff, Sean Mackey, Renee McClellan, Alex Childs, Joycelyn Coe, Kate Serrell, and Melissa Sharam. The United States tonight, in the goal will be Captain Kelly Griffith, the United States Air Force. And on the field will be Amy Horney of the United States Marine Corps, Jen Gillette of the Air Force, along with Kristen Cooper of the United States Air Force, Captain Leah McNell, also of the United States Air Force, Lieutenant Maggie Paulsen of the Air Force, First Lieutenant Scotty Colton of the United States Marine Corps, and Captain Ariel Saltine. Sun has dipped down behind the mountains. It's dark here in El Paso, Texas, but the lights are on here at Stout Field. Canada, in their very first game of this tournament, they tied the Netherlands in a scoreless game, came away with the draw. The United States, meanwhile, fell in their first contest to the Republic of Korea, and then 2 days ago came out on the backside of a 3-0 loss to China. Tonight, call it, well, the rivalry between the neighbors, if you will. Canada and the United States, and our neighbor to the north, Canada. But when the whistle blows, make no mistake about this, they will be playing to win, both teams. As I welcome to the broadcast, my broadcast partner throughout the course of this competition, the Chief of the United States Delegation, Secretariat of the United States Armed Forces, Steve Denote. And Steve, this is a contest. I think it's going to be hard played, but I also think it's going to be played with a lot of heart.
And both these teams always bring heart, passion, and of course fair play to every match they face. Regardless of the sport, the Canadians and the Americans always had a great relationship on the court and off the court and field.
This contest is underway with the Canadians in the red, the United States in the black uniform. And very quickly, Canada starts to try to mount somewhat of an attack. The United States will turn it on. We've seen goals scored early on in a few of these games here tonight. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But you've got fresh legs, some rest between these two teams. Over on the left side for the United States. Into that starting lineup tonight, Anastasia Abid. United States trying to set it up somewhere near the center, but it turns around and will go the other way. Our officials for tonight, it's going to be the referee, Leandro de Lima from Brazil, the first assistant, Yang Sun-yong from Korea, second assistant, Mengxiao Bao from China. That's Mengxiao Bao from China, and the fourth official, Siyu Mi from China as well. Each of these teams required to bring up to 2 officials from their home country when they come in to the CISM competition. In the goal, once again, that's Alex Hogg for Canada. And Canada on the charge, but the United States getting back quickly. We saw quickness from the Chinese team, and we also saw speed and quickness from the Brazilian team and the French team. Whether we see that kind of quickness and or speed tonight, well, that remains to be seen.
Both teams have the ability to be speedy out there. However, they're both very strong defensively. But the Americans right now, they're looking at getting on that board first.
Over
Neither team has scored a goal, and they're looking for some blood right now.
When all things are equal, Steve, I like to say it's the heart, it's the emotion, it's the desire. That's what carries the day. That's, of course, when all things are equal, technically speaking. Canada trying to clear it out quickly. United States trying to press the attack. And it goes out on the far side of the field.
And right now, if you get a chance to see the flags, they are blowing from east to west, and that's going to be in the Canadians' back. The other night, it was the opposite. So Canada's looking to strike early with the wind in their back, but that's going to give the Americans an advantage in the second half if this if the score remains either in the Americans' favor or tied.
Comes over to the right side. Ariel Saltin. She will come back to the center with the ball. Kristen Cooper again on the play. She'll lose it. Comes back upfield. Kristen Cooper, the United States Air Force from Los Angeles, California. That's where she's stationed. She calls home Thousand Oaks, California.
Nicknamed Shanks the Enforcer.
And that's for good reason, because that's the way she, well, the enforcer is because of the way she plays. The Shanks portion of it, well, that comes with her maiden name, I believe. But you put them together, and you're right. That's what you got. Shanks the Enforcer. Down it goes in the direction of Kelly Griffith.
Now, if you're a hockey fan, the enforcer part is usually met with some negative connotation. But however, her passion and heart, she does not play dirty out there. She gives it everything she's got.
What we saw the other night in the opening matchup against the Republic of Korea was the United States falling behind, but after they fell behind, they went 0-0 into the half, fell behind in the second half, Steve, but they never let up the entire time. They played with class and they played with heart.
And USA's been conditioned over the last 3 weeks here in El Paso. They've adapted to the heat as well as the altitude, so they know what they can do, what they can't do. Most of the other countries here, it's new. They didn't know how to take this heat on. They didn't know about the altitude on top of it, despite some warnings. But the Americans had a chance to use that home field advantage.
I can tell you this,
right now.
We are seeing a different style of play already in the fourth minute. We're seeing a different style of play tonight than we saw from the USA team in their first game against the Republic of Korea.
That's right. They're very aggressive tonight so far. Just open up. The first night, they tried to play a little defensive. They tried to get Korea on their backs, and that's why you saw the game at 1-0. No one had any idea what China was going to bring to the table. China is first time at a CISM championship, so there was no way to really scout them.
And the overwhelming possession of that game that belonged to China, and China knocked on the door many, many times. Came away with 3 goals. Yep. Could have come away with more possibly.
But nothing in the second half.
Correct.
They had the wind to their backs. They took advantage of it. And then they were able to hold defensively. However, the Americans didn't give up. And they only allowed 3 goals in the first half.
We're coming tonight live streaming on Facebook. Wherever you are, we're glad that you could be with us for this, the second game of the evening, on the 4th day of the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. Mouthful. We'll just call CISM Military World Cup. How's that sound? Because that's what it is. It's the Military World Cup. As a friend I have that I work with football on, he says, that's easy for you to say.
USA's got the ball. They're looking at getting upfield again.
They have been predominantly down on Canada's side of the field. Big cross-field pass. Comes over to Ariel Saltin. She's in the Air Force, stationed at Charleston, South Carolina. She's from Smyrna, Georgia. They come from all over the country here with the U.S. Armed Forces team. They not only come from all branches of service, but they come from all over the country. And sometimes out of country, according to their duty station. And out of bounds.
USA is going to keep possession.
Go keep it. Ready to inbound the ball. That is going to be Amy Horney, number 22. Glances, comes back out of bounds. Canada will take it over. The throw in just a little bit too far. Back on it comes Ariel Saltin. The United States pushes it back and wants to set things up. They'll go to the left side. Leading pass far down the left side. That one was intended down low for Anastasia Abid. Instead, Canada will put it back in play, going the opposite direction. Throw in by Canada, and the United States retrieves it. Back to the center of play. Kristen Cooper in the center. She's the midfielder, the enforcer that will try to control the action. Joined out there in the center by Captain Leah McNell. Moving it up frontwards again. Abid chases it down. And they'll bring it back to reset. Big long pass over to the right side. Saltin's going to try to track it down. She's not going to get there in enough time as it goes out of bounds. Neatly putting herself in the way of the ball that time was Jessica Hahn of Canada. No need to make a fight out of that. Just conveniently place yourself between the ball and the opponent. In the center. Over to the right side. Leading pass to the right. Shot down towards the goal.
Oh.
That was off the foot of number 17. That was Kayla Bridell in on the shot. We had to scramble for these starting lineups as we had minimal amount of time between two games. So didn't get Bridell fully entered into the score sheet. But
plus both coaches trying to keep the scoreboard or the starters secret up until last minute. Doesn't help the broadcast.
Well, you know what I do, Steve? I track down the officials. The fourth official is the administrative official. He handles the timeouts, he handles the substitutions, and he keeps up with the starting lineups of both teams. They actually have to be turned in an hour before the contest.
There's some great play by Jen Gillette out there.
Again, over to the left side. A lot of action by McNell. They're going to try to work the left side. Looking for a cross pass. Down they go in mass. Good defensive play, however. Back out once again. Good effort by Scotty Colton. She's going to dribble. Moves in towards the center. Tried to line something up, but it comes off the foot of one of the players. And Alex Hogg will gather it in. Canada not exactly pressing on the attack. They are laying back, realizing that the United States has been on the aggressiveness in terms of the offense. Tracking that one down towards the goal was Emma Owen. She boots it back to Hogg, who gets it out, and the United States recovers. And foul against USA. That particular one was on Saltin, so we'll go in Canada's favor. Ready to put her foot on the ball. That's going to be Melissa Chiron. She initiates that action. Chiron got a yellow card versus the Netherlands. That was at the 10-minute mark in that game. So she's got one yellow card in this tournament. Two players go down. USA maintains possession over to their right side. Back out just a little bit to Amy Horney. And they're going to send it all the way back to Kelly Griffith and let her deal with it.
The other night, Amy Horney was on Instagram. They were videoing her while she was waiting for her sandwich. And they said, "What's your goal for this tournament?" She said, "I want to score using a header because my head's big enough and I should be able to use it."
The desire's there. You can't quibble with that. There's number 2 from Canada and number 22 from the United States. That's Amy Horney, as we're talking about. And a yellow card comes up. Yellow card comes up against Amy Horney. Now, we talked about the sportscaster's jinx earlier on. You're talking about Amy Horney, and she comes away with a yellow card just like that, Steve Denote.
That's right. Well, when you get them from behind, you're going to get the card.
And that comes at the 12-minute mark. Shot over towards the middle. United States clears nicely. That shot taken that time by Melissa Chiron. She's a forward on the team. And I thought she was going to maybe look for the corner, but she didn't do so. She went to the center, and it was cleared nicely by the United States. So it's going to be corner kick. Canada. Chiron again in the corner. She's got the left foot. She comes out to the top. Shot towards the center. United States back on defense. Moving it on towards the center that time from Canada was Alex Childs.
I'm interested to see how the referees are going to call this particular match. Last match they let him play.
They did.
There were a couple yellow cards, but there was a lot of pushing and shoving between China and Netherlands. We're seeing the same aggressiveness right now during this game, but we're seeing a little bit more fouls being called. So I'm curious to see how the tone of this is going to be set by the referees.
Long pass down the left corner. Nobody there to retrieve it. I'm also interested to see who we might have following this game tonight. These are two teams, well, neighbors, if you will. So not a lot of people on this this continent in the North American hemisphere having to deal with many time changes.
Nope, they should be watching. So if you got people that are not watching, get on them. It's time to get going.
Time to
support
get behind
your team.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, time to get behind your team, support your team, whether you're Canada or whether you're the United States.
Yep, let us know where you're calling in from or watching in from. We see a couple people saying go Scotty. We got someone for Amy Horney. We got a few others just saying go Canada or go USA. But let us know where you're coming from. We had some interesting conversations about locations during our last broadcast.
And, of course, the last broadcast included the Netherlands and China. Here comes USA, right side. Looks towards the center. Canada covers nicely. Gets it back out. Nice play by Chiron. She gets it back to the center. United States comes away with it. Right side. Burdell back to the center all alone. Oh, and off the foot of Anastasia Abid and into the arms of the waiting goalie, Alex Hogg.
Perfect opportunity, but Hogg, she timed that perfectly.
She played it straight on. Had she Abid gone to the left or to the right, USA would have had their first goal of the contest. 'Twas not to be, however. They're going to have to go back and try to set it up again. We're in the 15th minute of this ball game.
And we got quite a few people coming in. We got support from Canada in Pitwawa, from Prince George, British Columbia, Alex Childs, home of Alex Childs, one of the players from the Canadian team, Scotty Colson, and from Chicago. Got folks from Fort Hood, Ormond Beach, Florida. And now we got some action down on the east side of the field.
Ball goes out and far and away. You know, it's good to hear from British Columbia, and I'll tell you why. I've got reservations up there for about 4 days in Victoria coming up in mid-August. Looking forward to getting up in that part of the country very, very much. USA's had a couple of shots on goals tonight, while Canada really has only had one. Here comes a corner kick. USA back to the center, cleared out nicely. That time by Canada.
We got some fans from the Bahamas chiming in. And the Royal Military College of, I'm sorry, my computer just went, yep, Royal Military College of Canada in Kingston. And Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, my home state. I'm a little to the east of Gettysburg in Philadelphia. Glad you're joining in.
All the way down on the left side, and Hogg will take control of it. Comes out of the goal, does a nice job getting it back up the field. Hogg's got 3 saves on the night. Griffith only has 1. And there's been 1 yellow card thus far. That came at the 22-minute mark. And that yellow card went against Second Lieutenant Amy Horney. Horney, as we mentioned, from the Marine Corps. So I don't want to say you're taught to be aggressive, but you're taught to be aggressive, period. Bottom line. That's a plus. Down low. Off to the right side. Good attempt that time.
Yep. Recent graduate of VMI, Virginia Military Institute. She's what we call a 3rd lieutenant. until she goes through the basic school. She'll be officially a second lieutenant, but no.
Well, I mean, I've just got to tell you, in Marine Corps parlance, there's really no such thing as a third lieutenant. That's just the way it is.
No official rank, just a friendly gesture.
Just a friendly reminder that you still have to earn your way.
That's right. She'll be reaching the basic school here shortly. Had some time off between her graduation, and they can only take so much at the school, so a lot of them have delayed entry. And she's lucky enough to be attached to a unit that allowed her to come out here.
Yes, very, very much so.
Yeah. Without the support of their commanders, they don't get a chance to come out here. This is a volunteer program. They are not stationed together playing soccer year-round. They are stationed from all over the world. Right there, Jen Gillette with the ball. She's an F-15 pilot.
She's an F-15 pilot. We've got player from Iwakuni, Japan. The coach is from Brunson in the Netherlands, stationed there with the United States Air Force. And so bottom line is they come from all over the world to be on the United States women's military team.
And the same thing for Canada. The Canadians only trained for about 1 week before this championship. The USA, 3 weeks. Now we look at China, we look at Brazil, we look at France. They have an opportunity to train a lot longer. China's been playing together for, 2-3 years, they said.
So countries do it differently. I mean, they just do.
Yeah. And in some of the smaller countries in Europe, they have, even though they might not be playing full-time together, they have the chance because the driving distance isn't that great, and they can go play on the weekends with each other, play on some clubs together. But Canada, USA, there's a lot of distance between coasts.
They're big countries, big countries. Ooh, nice deception play by the USA, but blocked nicely. USA retrieves it. They're going to try to set it up again on the right side. Far right corner down to Sultan in the corner.
Sultan able to keep it in.
She does a nice job of playing the ball. Backs it back out to Bridell. Long shot far away, and it's going to drift off to the left side. Pretty good attempt that time by the enforcer. That's Kristen Cooper. And they said about Cooper, she can put it in the back of the net. She can shoot, and you just saw a pretty good attempt right there.
So we have two of aunts for Scotty, one from Chicago, one from Simi Valley, California. If you got more family members, tell them to get on Facebook and watch this thing live.
Watch your niece, watch your daughter, watch your cousin, whatever it may be, whomever they may be.
And we got some friends chiming in. A friend of Amy Horney says she probably should get the red card.
Down on the right side, here comes the USA, and down goes Sultan. She stays down. Play continues on. No foul called on the play. Sultan went down hard. She went down quick. She's getting up very slowly, but she's back up to her 2 feet.
And they got to be careful. She's walking gingerly, but they can't. USA can't advance the ball right now without getting offsides. Hogg out there to challenge once again.
She's busy, is she not? Very busy.
Canada right now just can't seem to clear the halfway point.
The U.S. CISM team has 6 players returning from last year's team. That's Leah McNeil, Jen Gillette, Kristen Cooper, Jessica Ortiz-Villa, A.J. Sobolski, and Anastasia Abid. And the interesting thing about this team, Steve, is all but one have collegiate experience.
That's right.
They are looking to improve upon their performance last time. They did not advance out of their pool, but they've been together for a couple of weeks, have had about 10 scrimmages. And oh, by the way, we'll call attention to them, but you got the El Paso ASA women's semi-pro soccer team in attendance tonight. That was one of the teams that they scrimmaged with during their training camp here at Fort Bliss.
And we have Fort Bliss watching. The administrators there from Fort Bliss Facebook site. We got grandparents of Shelby Lewis watching from the Bahamas.
I just think technology is marvelous. Really is, no matter where you are in the world. Spent some time in Taiwan this past year and would wake up in the morning and watch the previous night's ball game from the States live. Racing down the left side, cross pass, it's going to get up, nobody there, no header opportunity. It's going to drift over to the right side of the United States. They'll try to get it back in the center. Here comes Canada. Scrum around the middle, off the shoulder of one, and Canada's going to clear it. But the United States is back to receive it. They're going to press again. Nice slide tackle that time. Well done. And Canada gets it out.
Canada's still having a tough time trying to get forward. And there's a costly turnover. USA has possession once again.
One of the things about the USA team is they feel pretty good about their defense. They also feel good about their team discipline, and they like the fact that they're in pretty good physical conditioning. Canada, meanwhile, is coached by Kevin Grigg. He coaches at Queen's University in Ontario. He's been there for about 14 years. It's his fourth year as the head coach from Canada. And when he was a player, he played for the Canadian men's team in the CISM competition, so he's certainly no stranger to CISM. He thinks his team is balanced. They move defensively, perhaps maybe better than offense is what he said. But like the United States, the Canadian team is looking for their first win in this tournament.
Right now, Canada does have that slight lead over USA, having tied Netherlands in their first match, earning 1 point.
It was the 0-0 tie against the Netherlands that gave them that 1 point. Again, left corner, left side. Comes to the center of the header, and it goes up and over. Can't tell you whose head that came off of, but I can tell you it went over the crossbar. Remember, you can follow Armed Forces Sports Championship events all over social media. Our latest breaking tournament news is on Twitter. You can look up searching the handle U.S. Military Sport. That's right, U.S. Military Sport with no S at the end. In fact, we've been tweeting so long our name wouldn't even fit under Twitter's old rules. So for match wrap-ups, great photos, follow and like us on Facebook, just like you're doing tonight. Just search Armed Forces Sports. You'll see the link. Canada trying to control it, move it down to the other end of the field. Push from behind. United States in control on the right side. Out to the center. Kristen Cooper tried to work it to the right side. Canada takes it away. Goes over to Saltin. Back to the center to Cooper. Cooper's going to cross it to the left side. Played well, under control. We'll come back to the right side instead. That's Bradell. Bradell goes down. Canada takes over. Cooper back to the left side of the United States. Maggie Paulsen, first lieutenant, will take over that ball. She's in the Air Force Station at Office Air Force Base in Nebraska. She's from Berlin, Connecticut. Here comes Canada. Right side, they'll center the ball, but the United States is going to get there 2-on-1, but good hustle, good effort that time by Melissa Chiron. It was 3-on-1, however. Chiron was outnumbered. Back to the center. McNell kicks it over to the left side. And long pass downfield. Trapped nicely. They keep it in play.
We have quite a few shout-outs for our goalkeeper coach, Aaron Essler from Colorado. Now, Aaron, she's played in this championship on 2 different occasions. First in 2010 when the championship was held in France, and then at the Military World Games in Brazil. So she's got some experience. Fantastic goalkeeper from the Air Force Academy.
She works with the goalkeepers. When I talked to Aaron, she said, yeah, I work primarily with the goalkeepers, and she did share that fact a couple of times. So it looks like they're going to have a water break. Looks like they're going to have a water break. That is the 1-minute water break that we take midway through the first half. We'll take a water break midway through the second half as well. Temperature up to 102 degrees when we started game 1 today. You know, we talk about these players. First Lieutenant Scotty Colton of the United States Marine Corps talked about this CISM experience and talked about playing with this team.
Just the competition, the rivalry, the camaraderie that you get from being on the soccer field with 10 other players, working hard every single day to be just that small percentage better than the other team. I love it. I'm obsessed.
We'll get that up when we can get it up. It's always great to be able to sit down and talk to these players. The joy for me, Steve, to note, I enjoy the games. I enjoy the competition. I enjoy calling sports. That's kind of part of my DNA, I guess, for lack of a better description. But my greatest joy, really, is getting down and being able to talk to the coaches, meet the players, and I don't mean just the United States. We've got it. Here goes First Lieutenant Scotty Colton.
Just the competition, the rivalry, the camaraderie that you get from being on the soccer field with 10 other players, working hard every single day to be just that small percentage better than the other team. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's kind of why I joined the military as well, because it's a teamwork, camaraderie type deal.
But she also said that the first week of camp was harder than any other soccer training she'd ever received, and that is quite a statement. But they loved it. They worked from 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. Long days started to come, and the more they spent time together, the more they started to blend together as a team. "30-minute mark. Canada unable to cash in on their end of the field. They have not been down there that much, but they're going to head back down. Will the United States back to Canada's side? Good long centering pass, but Alex Hogg's going to be there. United States aggressive. Good move by Ariel Sultan that time. She'll center it back to Kristen Cooper. Cooper will dribble straight ahead through traffic. She'll look over to the right side. She's got Sultan there. It's a foot race to the ball. Sultan launches a cross pass. Oh, a good diving attempt that time, but to no avail, and they come up empty-handed. Great play. Good setup by Cooper down the right side over to Sultan. You got to like the cross pass. Anastasia Abid was right there, but she could not convert. Right idea, good effort. And the coach is going to play very simply. We're going to need more of that, is what he's going to say. We're talking about a head coach, Derek Wayan of the United States Air Force. He's been the coach of the Air Force since 2011, and he has coached this CISM team since 2013. And he's the man that oversaw the tryouts and really kind of helped pick this year's squad. Here comes the United States again. They're going to come down on the left side this time. Long shot, hits the crossbar, almost snuck in, did not make it, hit the crossbar and came back out. Wow. What an attempt. That, my friends, would have gone as perhaps one of the top plays in this tournament had that one been able to slip in under the crossbar for the net. Well, here they come again, back in the center. And Canada will clear. USA, if you're the coach, you're going to say, don't stop doing what you're doing. We're going to cash in. It's a matter not of if, it's a matter of when. They've got 8 shots on goal already, 5 saves given the Hog, only 1 save tonight so far for Griffith, and that's because Canada's only had 1 real shot on goal. But that's the way this one has gone thus far. It's a 0-0 ball game. We're in the 31st minute. And as we like to say, keep those cards and letters coming.
Keep them coming. We got some we do apologize for the sound there earlier. We had an interview. Unfortunately, we left it off when the play came back. We're trying to produce, broadcast all at the same time. And sometimes the computer mouse doesn't like to play with us.
Well, sometimes things just fall off our plate, don't they?
You know what? I'm glad we finally got the issues today. It seems like the first match of every night, something happens with the stream due to the high heat here. Today we had another 107-degree day, high winds.
We've got a scoreless ball game, but that doesn't mean we don't have any action on the field.
USA's being aggressive. They're down in the Canadian side most of the match.
Possession really has belonged very, very much to USA tonight. We're going to try it again. Salton down the right side. And again, just keep it up. You're eventually going to get one in there, USA. Good pass towards the center, but great defensive effort at that time by Canada, in the particular of Melissa Sharon and also Jessica Hahn. 2 good defenders for Canada. Sharon seemingly playing all over this field. Back out to the center. And that's Kate Serrell. We haven't called her name very much, but that's because she's been back primarily. She's a forward. And sometimes she'll be out front by herself. There's a shot down towards goal, and Hogg's going to gather it in once again. Nice job by Alex Hogg. When this Canadian team takes the field, sometimes they line up as a 4-5-1, and that one out in front, that's going to be Kate Serrell. And if the ball doesn't come down to the other end of the field, well, as a forward and you're that one person, you're back there by yourself sometimes, especially when your team's playing defense. And that's what Canada's been doing the majority of this half.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're seeing Canada bunch up a little bit like we saw in the last match between China and Netherlands. USA is stretching the field, and I think that's why you're seeing a slight advantage down here on the Canadian side.
Good job by Salton to trap and control the ball. Over to Cooper. Back out to Salton, but that pass was just a little errant. If you're going to widen the field, you've got to be in good condition because you've got more territory to cover. Also, you're going to have good technical skills because your passing is going to have to be just a little bit crisper. So when you don't have the conditioning, you're going to find a lot of groupings towards the center, and you're going to find shorter passes. Last night, when Brazil played France, we saw 2 very finely conditioned teams with a lot of long passes and a quick transitioning type game.
That's right. We're starting to see some of that from the USA tonight. There's Amy Horney with the throw-in.
Certainly more so than we saw them in their first 2 games, that's for sure.
That's kind of like we talked about earlier. This, while not official, this game may have some bearing on how the final team of the Americas is chosen for the Military World Games next year in China. So we're seeing both teams out there rather aggressive.
Back over towards the center. Canada quick to collapse their defense and get it right back up the field, although to go out of bounds. I talked to head coach Derek Awayan as I was tracking down the starting lineups here for the second game after the game between the Netherlands and China earlier tonight. And I told him that we had talked about this upcoming match as a hard-fought match. We expected it to be hard-fought. But I also told him, Steve, I thought the difference just might be the heart of both these teams out here tonight.
We're going to see who brings it tonight. That's going to be determined at the final minute of the second half.
I think you have to earn your breaks. I really do. But I think you have to be in position for them when you're ready, when they come. I mean, this is soccer. This is not like a short putt. This is not a gimme. This is something you have to earn. Just like this. Here comes the United States down the center. Sultan running down the right side. Can she get there? Yes. Will she be able to cross over? We'll see. Good defensive effort. She controls the ball, brings it to the center, slides it out, but
ball got slightly ahead of her.
Just ahead of her, and Canada turns it back around. United States inbounds it, however.
And the enforcers got the ball.
Back in the center, Burdell. Back out to Cooper. Good long shot, but Alex Hogg knocks it down and picks it up as Anastasia Abed closes the distance. Canada in control on their side of the field. Foul. Canada will maintain possession. We're looking forward to tomorrow here in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. Our coverage resumes with Group B action. That's when Bahrain will meet Brazil. 10 o'clock East Coast time in the United States, 8 o'clock here Mountain Time from Fort Bliss, Texas. Remember, check into Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live stream listings. And there's Kelly Griffith getting back in the ball game. When I say back in the ball game, there just haven't been that many shots on goal. She hasn't touched the ball that much. Of course, she's been in the game directing traffic, doing those things that goalies do. Alex Hogg will knock it down. You are seeing the United States transition more tonight than we've seen them in the first two nights.
That's right. You're seeing them stretch the field out. They're playing aggressive. They're staying disciplined, and they're creating a lot of turnovers. And they're forcing the Canadians to stay on their side of the pitch, unfortunately.
Straight down the field. Canada's back on defense. 2 on 4. Canadians in control defensively. Wind has died down. Take a look at the corner flag, Steve. It's the first time perhaps in this tournament that we have seen them simply draped around the poles.
That's right. 25 miles an hour at one point, the gust was at 25. Sustained winds are roughly around 15.
Down the center, Amy Horney takes over, pushes it out to the left side. And it gets by one of the players from the United States, and Canada's very quick to recover. Here comes Canada. They've got a shot, an opportunity, but the United States in its defensive position simply gets it back. Credit Amy Horney on that one. Cross pass all the way to the left side. Canada will intercept it. Here they come, down their right side. Great play on the other side. Tremendous play on the other side that time. By the United States, they continue to bring it up. Hustling that time. You got to give a lot of credit to Scotty Colton.
Yeah, during the training camp, Scotty had a little scare. Thought she injured her knee. Wasn't sure if she was going to stay on the team. Had her looked at. Took a couple images. Determined, nope, she just needed a few extra days of rest. So we're happy she's out and playing. Nope.
How about our medical staff? Talk about our medical staff if you can, Steve.
So we have a
left side.
We have,
shot goes wide to the right side.
Yeah, so we have a couple great great trainers during the camp. We weren't able to keep them the whole time just because of the length of the training camp plus the CISM championship. So we had a couple rotating athletic trainers. And then for the championship, we were able to get great team doc and great team trainer. And they all complemented each other. And the staff, the hospital here at Fort Bliss has been tremendous.
Cross pass, no header opportunity. It takes a whole support staff working together. Medical staff, host staff, administrative staff from the Armed Forces Sports Office. I say the administrative staff because it's basically a staff of two.
That's right.
yours and our good friend Ken Polk.
Yeah, Mr. Polk. No, but this doesn't happen by accident. I mean, you have to have the service branch sports office engaged. They're the ones reaching out to the bases. The bases are the ones hosting this. And you got to find a great team. So it's one thing to host an intramural championship, but it's another thing to host a world military championship.
Across the field, it goes to Sultan. Well, the expectation levels are high. Let's put it like that. You've got teams coming in from around the world. They're used to playing the sport at a very high technical level, so they're going to expect the high technical level, but then they're also a guest in your country. And so there's some level of expectations that come with that.
That's correct. And the team here at Fort Bliss has done an excellent job. They're able to step it up to the next level, making sure everybody feels at home, making sure that this event is done in the most professional manner. Couldn't have asked for a better staff. And this is all the way from the director of MWR, the base command, the volunteers, all the way down to the frontline personnel.
Very nice opening ceremonies. The social after the opening ceremonies, a very nice luncheon yesterday for the chiefs of mission, and everything really well done. United States collapsing on defense, stopping the way for Canada. Canada just unable to make too many shots on goals tonight. I think they have 2 shots on goal, if I recall. And they've been pushed back in their own defensive effort throughout the course of the evening. But having said that, they've done a pretty good job because the United States has not been able to score. It's a 0-0 ball game.
Right now we're in stoppage time. Looks like 2 minutes they're given. 2 minutes of stoppage.
Here it comes. Right side. Sultan's got the lead pass. And out of the goal area comes Alex Hall.
Way out in that corner.
Ball comes out on the right side. Sultan will get it back in quickly. Cooper launches an aerial ball. Over comes Bardell. She's got a lead pass. Here comes Hogg. Hogg's out. The goal's wide open.
And a goal for the USA. Or was she offside?
No, they're calling offsides on that. Calling offsides on that. So I saw the linesman, the assistant official over on this side, waited for the call. It looked like it could be a goal, but slowly but surely, sign was delivered, offsides USA. So close, but it did not result in a goal. $11 shots on goal by the United States so far tonight. Only 1 shot by Canada. 7 saves, we might add, by the goalie for Canada. The goalkeeper, Alex Hogg. And time is just about ready to expire here.
And that's it for the half.
And that's it. As I say that, that's it for the half. And we have finished the first half of play tonight with a 0-0, 0-0 tie between the United States and Canada. No goals in the first half. A lot of action up and down the field, but nobody able to convert. And as I told you, shots on goal heavily in favor of the United States. Saves tonight heavily in favor of Canada, thanks to the hard work of Alex Hogg. Remember, we're looking forward to tomorrow. The 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship coverage resumes with Group B action. Bahrain will have its first match of the 2018 CISM tournament. They're going to meet Brazil. That's going to be at 10 o'clock Eastern Time here in the United States, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Remember, check into Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live streams. And as always, visit armedforcessports.com for the latest in match schedules. Teams have gone to the sides. They're going to take a break. They're going to get rehydrated. We're going to do the same. We're going to step aside here, get hydrated ourselves, and we'll be back in about 12 minutes for the start of the second half. We're scoreless. It's the United States, nothing. Canada, nothing. We're back right after this break.
As a nation and as a military, we are proud to continue the valuable traditions promoting peace and friendship through sport. It's quite interesting and worth noting that General John Pershing, no stranger to Fort Bliss, as he served here earlier before he went to World War I, would be the force behind attempts to break down cultural and political barriers and promote friendship and morale among servicewomen through sport as far back as 1919. It was his foresight and vision, recognizing the value of sport, that eventually led to the establishment of the CISM. And now, nearly a century later, we still strive for peace and harmony among the nations and recognize the value of the International Military Sports Council and moving nations closer to that lofty goal. So let us continue this tradition of friendly competition, sportsmanship, and camaraderie. May the friendships that will last a lifetime be established over the next 2 weeks, and may the best team win.
Gentlemen, direct your attention. Flying over the parade field is an AH-64 Apache from Fort Bliss's own 1st Armored Division Combat Aviation Brigade. The Apache is piloted by Chief Warrant Officer 2 Croft and Chief Warrant Officer 2 Fraser. They are demonstrating dynamic teamwork
Welcome back to Stout Field, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for the start of the second half here. And this is the second game tonight. It's between the United States and Canada. 0-0 is the score, with Canada out in the red and the United States out in the black. This is the half that will decide possibly the first win for either Canada or the United States in this tournament. We are underway. Joycelyn Coe inbounds the ball for Canada. And Canada will try to play a little more offense. If you're Coach Derek Wayne of the United States Air Force, coaching in the USA team, when he comes to the halftime, it was probably along the lines of, don't stop what you're doing, United States women. Reason being, you will score. You had your opportunities, sufficient opportunities in the first half, but credit the Netherlands. They played defense. Left side, opportunity here in the second half. Crossover, and absolutely no header, no opportunity for deflection, and Canada will clear it out. Nice run down the left side. That time, that was Scotty Colton. Scotty Colton again, but that time she's beaten to the ball. And Colton will help up her opponent. Looks like Amy Godwin into this game to start the second half, if I'm seeing the number correct. I am not. That's number 23 down on the field. That is Valerie Tellerio. Challenge on the far side. Canada comes away with it. Sharon will send it upfield, and it will go out of bounds. So let's see if the United States can mount another attack. Only this time, finish with the ball in the goal. Down the center. Working hard that time. Leah McNeil over towards the center, and it's going to bounce off of the top of the net. They've hit the crossbar. They bounced it off of the top of the net. They've had multiple shots on goal, but it's still 0-0. Don't stop. And wherever you are around the world, we are glad that you are with us here tonight on Facebook, streaming live. If you're out there and you're following this action, let us hear from you. Soccer is a game that unites. The CISM motto, friendship through sports, it's all here. And you know what? It extends well beyond the confines of Fort Bliss, Texas. It extends all the way out to those that are in support and watching this team as well. Throw in, Colton, left side, down in the corner. Maggie Paulsen chasing it down in the corner. We got Paulsen and Colton on this side. We couldn't call their names that much in the first half. They were on the far side. Difficulty perhaps in seeing across the field. And here comes the United States again. So, Steve, to note, this looks like the action is picking up here in the second half, kind of where it left off at the end of the first half. United States maintaining possession through most of the time, but unable to capitalize on the opportunities that they have had.
And already in this half, you've had a couple opportunities with Paulsen on that first shot, just knowing there to head it or get the deflection in there. And you got Kelty fighting for territory right there.
Lieutenant J.G. Kara Kelty, United States Navy. She's stationed in San Diego. She's got the throw-in right now. Name for Canada, we have not called a whole lot, but she's been out there throughout the course of the contest. That is Renee McClellan. And Canada maintains control on the far left side. A great spill, great opportunity on the left hand, on the side, a trip, and down goes the player. So it's going to set itself up as a penalty kick. And the USA player coming to the line is going to be Kristen Cooper, the enforcer. She finds the back of the net. And the United States will take a 1-0 lead. Ball's placed down. PK ready to go. There's the sign. Hog in the goal. Cooper moves up. The kick. Goes the right side, and it's goal USA. USA takes a 1-0 lead over Canada as a result of the penalty kick by Captain Kristen Cooper of the United States Air Force. They earned that one with a tough play, the trip down in the goal area, and it set up the PK that Cooper converted on nicely. Again, Steve Denote, we talked about it. At the half, you're the United States. What do you tell your team? Simple. Don't stop doing what you're doing. You're going to have more opportunities. United States played for it. They earned it. They got it. They took advantage of it that time. 1-0, USA. I get the feeling that they're not really ready to rest on one simple goal.
They need some assurances. They need to get up there. They need to continue tacking. You got Colsey coming up.
Colton down the left side, but cleared nicely that time. By Canada, that was Emma Owen. Left side to Paulsen. Back out to Scotty Colton. Goes out. Canada throws it in. They're not going anywhere. Quickly turned around that time. And that was Kara Kelty on the turnaround. The United States maintains possession. We had an opportunity to catch up to Lieutenant J.G. Kara Kelty earlier. We don't have that interview ready, but we will have that during the course of this tournament. She had some good things to tell us about her thoughts on being hooked on soccer. I mean, she started this game early in life, and in all honesty, just basically developed a passion for the game early on, and it's continued forth. And you see it tonight out there on the field as she plays for Team USA. The United States maintains control. And if you're Kelly Griffith, you got to stay awake. I mean, you're back down in the goal for the USA, but you want to know what? You haven't had any people down in your goal area in some time. I like to say the United States is simply pounding on the door. But you want to know what? We've been on the reverse side of this. When we played China, China spent the whole game pounding on the door of the United States. They scored 3 goals, but they were in a position to score more. Out of bounds, far side. Canada takes over. I was talking about Renee McClellan for Canada. She was the CIS Player of the Year, the midfielder. And that's quite an achievement to earn that award in Canada. And she plays in the middle, as I said, and she directs traffic for Canada, so she is their team captain. The United States will bring it back and try to reset. Right side, long pass, down forward. Deflection, Canada takes over. Comes all the way out to their right side. Not able to get a handle on it that time was Joycelyn Coe. Instead, it goes out off of her. Kelty throws it in. Into Colton. Colton back out to the center. The pass gets by Cooper, and here comes Canada. Searle just a little ahead of herself as well, and USA will turn it back around. Canada will take it off to the right side now. One-on-one, nicely done that time by Kelty. She stripped the player and took it away. Back to Canada. They'll try to work it back towards their own back. Back to the fullback and then back out front again to Childs. Childs held at the waist, no call. Yes, there is a call. And so that's going to go against USA.
So interesting story about Cara Kelty. Her sister Caprice played for the U.S. team in 2015 at the Military World Games. So Cara comes to camp. All the girls from the 2015 team go running up, hey, Cara, or Caprice. And she's looking to say, hi, I don't know you. That was my twin sister. And they thought at first she was kidding. But no, true enough, she has a twin sister that has played for this team before.
Long pass down the field, but the United States recovers nicely. Canada keeps it alive. They boot it back now to try to reset things for Canada. And pass will go on the right side. Talking about Cara Kelty now, she served in the U.S. Navy for 3 years as a surface warfare officer. She's currently a fire control officer, and that's aboard an amphibious assault ship. She's stationed, as I said earlier, in San Diego, California. And she played Division I soccer for the Naval Academy. Was a 4-year starter there in Annapolis, playing left outside back. So as I said, all but one have played collegiate soccer for the United States. And most of them playing on the Division I level. Here comes Canada. Down the center. Pass off to the right side. Shot towards the goal, but knocked out of the way nicely that time by Jen Gillette. We haven't called her name very much, and that's because as a defender she plays back, but Canada has not been in her territory throughout the course of the night. But that time, coming down the right side, trying to get it across and get something out of that, was Joycelyn Coe. So Canada's going to have the corner kick. And that is going to be Melissa Chiron, the left footer. Cross towards the center, header, and out of the goal comes Kelly Griffith to get it. Nice job by Griffith that time. She has not been tested that much tonight, but she stepped up nicely there. United States across the midfield line. Back to the center, Kristen Cooper trying to control the action. She'll pass to the right. A little bit too far ahead, and it will go out of bounds. Canada's ball. Reverse back to the United States. We're moving towards the 60th minute of this ball game. Hard to believe. And a tumble on the field sends the ball back the other way now. Our officials done a very nice job of controlling the action so far tonight, I think, Steve, but got to give a lot of credit to the players. We talked about the sportsmanship in the previous contest between the Netherlands and China, but the sportsmanship, again, on a high level once again here between the United States and Canada.
That's right. We saw a yellow card early, but that's all we've seen since then.
Alex Hogg comes out of the goal. 14 shots on goal tonight by the USA. And only a couple of shots on goal by Canada. 7 saves on the night so far for Hogg. And a couple of saves on the evening for Kelly Griffith. United States scoring on a penalty kick at the 51-minute mark. That came off the foot of the enforcer, Kristen Cooper. Nice little crowd on hand tonight. And the temperature has gone down into the high 70s, so that is cool for this area. Oh, I'm guessing that's what it is.
Let's get the official.
Yeah, you're not a certified meteorologist, so don't give me.
No.
Let's get the official stuff, okay?
All right, 32 degrees centigrade. And for our standard or imperial,
For our Fahrenheit
folks,
folks,
we got 89.
89.
So
I was close.
it is 70 degrees.
Shot
in here.
down towards the goal, but coming up nicely. That's hope.
Yeah, we're almost about 20 degree difference from the start of the first match tonight.
When it's 89, Steve, and you say that's good, we'll take it, that ought to tell you how hot it's been.
That's right. And we experienced a lot of technical difficulties in the first matches. When you still got that temperature soaring well above 100, the hardware can't keep up. Computers aren't playing nice. And the Fort Bliss team's been great. They've been able to get us a couple of air conditioners in the unit, not necessarily for our comfort, but for the computers.
They just don't do well in that extreme heat. It was at one point it was 104 down on the field, and it might have been 110 up here in the press box. That was before we got the ACs and the opportunity to cool things down just a little bit. I don't want to say that the equipment was baking, but it was close.
It was hard to touch. We got another foul in the field. Canada will retain possession.
That's Laura Imhoff with the kick, the free kick. It goes up towards the center. McClellan will try to control it. She'll get it over to the right side, off of one of the Canadian players, and down 2 they go. Ball goes out, and Canada will maintain control. Going down to the ground that time was Kara Kelty. And USA on defense, doing a nice job. Slow to get up. One of our players, that looks like Cooper, but she's up. She's moving, going in the right direction. Missed header opportunity that time. That was by Leah McNell. Hogg gets it back out. Down to the right side. Canada will clear. And out of bounds it goes. Steve, we got an interesting game tomorrow. Brazil, that played so strong dominantly against France last night in a 3-0 win, and that was over a team that had beaten Germany, a 2-time champion here in the Military World Cup. They beat Germany 6-0. Now Brazil's going to line up against Bahrain, who arguably may not be one of the top-tier teams in this tournament. What are you looking for tomorrow night?
Right now, we don't know. Bahrain, this is their first CISM as well, along with China. So it's going to be interesting what kind of team they have. But if there's any indication that if Bahrain's evenly matched with the majority of these teams, they're going to be in for a surprise with Brazil.
That they will. They will.
Brazil and France, they've been going back and forth the last 3 championships. Brazil won in 2015 over France in the finals. And then when France hosted in 2016, they topped Brazil. So right now, they're looking for the rubberneck match.
Yeah, that they are. That they are. But you got to give a lot of credit. What a long, long shot from the outside. Now, had that gone in the first game tonight when the wind was blowing, who knows where that ball would have wound up. But here in game 2, the wind has ceased. The corner flags are draped around the poles right now. First time we've seen that since this tournament started last Friday night.
Here's Cooper. 2 back-to-back slide tackles.
She's tough.
She was able to get the ball.
I might have to tip my hat and salute the play of Kristen Cooper. I really do. Right by McClellan in midfield.
This artificial turf is not very friendly to those slides. It will give you some strawberries left and right.
2 players go down. Play on, says our field official. And, you know, I don't see a whole lot of soccer played on synthetic turf, particularly in Europe. And you're an ATC, an athletic trainer, so there's a lot of consideration given to what is best for the body, particularly in American football. But I believe the same really applies to soccer as well. And I think the overwhelming majority of folks will say, we prefer natural turf.
Every sport that is played prefers natural turf. That's just the simple fact. It gives you better feel. However, unfortunately in El Paso, natural turf is at a really a high
premium. It's at a premium, yeah.
We're in the desert. It's very dry.
You're being kind. Arid. You say dry, I say arid. And so this natural surface here is a guarantee, if you will, that this tournament can take place within the scheduled time limit without having to worry about, well, whether or not you have grass on the field.
That's right. And the benefit right now for this tournament being on synthetic turf is we can have everything done in one facility. We don't have to jump from 2 different locations to make sure the field has enough time to rest. And you see that a lot when you have these championships being conducted with this number of teams. It makes it very difficult to have broadcast. It makes it very difficult to have the same crowd every night. And it costs the players a lot of travel time. So having everything on one field within walking distance is also very beneficial for the players.
Very much so. Accommodations and logistics here, you could not ask for anything more. Long kick down, booting it away is Shauna Mackey. Shauna Mackey got in a tie-up here just a few minutes ago that resulted in that kick. She's been very active. Great play by Canada that time. They won that challenge, and they're going to try to get things started. Back up to center. Over to the right side comes the pass.
That's Scotty Colson getting in everybody.
In the United States, back on defense quickly. Dropping back is Jen Gilbert. Jen Gillette.
I'm quite sure you wouldn't have any idea that Colson had a knee injury just about a week ago.
She does not look like she's favoring that knee in any way, shape, or form. Must have put the magic spray on.
The magic spray.
Pass straight away, a little breakaway opportunity. Out comes Alex Hogg as she quickly dives and snuffs out that potential shot by USA. She's got a foot, by the way. Launches it over the midline. 68th minute of this contest. Colson, I like the give and take that time between Colson and Paulsen. Colton and Paulsen. It goes off of Colton, out of bounds. It's going to be Canada's ball. Very nice effort that time by Laura Imhoff of Canada.
And we're going to have a substitution here.
Going out of the game for the United States. That's going to be 19 headed out of the contest. That's going to be Leah McNell. And coming in is 18. Coming into the contest for the USA, Carlesimo. Carlesimo is from the United States Air Force. She's stationed in Charleston, South Carolina. Her homer record, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Got some comments talking about the magic spray again. We mentioned it only once so far.
Yeah, well, you know what? That was just a little test to see if we had any listeners.
And we have repeat listeners, so.
You know, I was once talking, I won't identify the network, but I was talking to some people from the network, and they said, you know, we don't get any complaints. Well, you know what someone else said? That's because nobody's listening. So we love it when we have listeners. We really do. That's why we're here, and we're glad you could be with us wherever you are in the world for this, the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. We call it the Military World Cup. Great play again by Hogg. She comes out. She's got good concentration.
Got some listeners here saying I need that in my rucksack regarding the magic spray. Someone else said I need that in my life. So the magic spray, you have to ask an athletic trainer. They know where to find it. It is not available on the shelves of your local pharmacy. Actually, it is. You just got to know what it is.
Yeah, let me not indict. Let me not indict any country, and it's certainly not my purpose.
No.
But
No.
you know, when I bring up the subject of that, we did not go into this, and I'll say this, and then we'll kind of move away from that magic spray topic. But a lot of times when you see the magic spray come out, it's because really, in all honesty, that opponent needs a break. I mean, when I say a break, I'm talking about they're out of gas. They need a pause for air. And, well, out comes the spray and whatever the injury might be. And meanwhile, the athlete from whatever country or whatever sport, you know, they can recover. They can get their wind back. And that's always helpful.
Yep. Even though it's just cold spray on the ankle.
But
somehow it gets the air back in their lungs.
And
again,
then
magic spray.
And you ask the person with the spray can, well, what are you doing? And you know what they say? I'm treating my athlete. I'm treating my athlete. He's hurt. She's hurt.
Now, good referees say, hey, get out of here.
Yeah. Enough about that one. Right side. Good challenge for the ball that time. Like the effort by Alex Childs, but I also like the effort that time by Kara Kelty. Childs and Kelty, as we're going to head to the side for a water break. You know, we were talking about Kara Kelty and said we had caught up to her earlier this week. Lieutenant J.G. Kara Kelty of the United States Navy. She's high on soccer, and she told us that as she shared her thoughts about playing soccer.
Well, I love sports. I love running ever since I was a kid. I've always was like, my mom didn't know what to do with me. She was like, well, I should put her on the track team. I was like, someone told her, no, that's too boring. You need to put her like in sports or something. What about softball? No, they just stand there and pick flowers. And so soccer came up, and ever since then, I've been hooked.
That's Lieutenant J.G. Kara Kelty of the United States Navy. She is hooked on soccer. You got to like it. So teams over on the side on a water break. Extreme weather conditions here at Fort Bliss, Texas. Cooled down a little bit tonight. Last check, about 89 degrees. Nonetheless, safety is the name of the game. Safety first, fairness and respect second, and friendship through sports is the overarching motto of the CISM program.
Yep, we're getting some questions regarding the water break. Now keep in mind, this is not necessarily a CISM rule. This was FIFA implemented the rule when the temperature is above 32 degrees centigrade, and of course here in El Paso it is, and it has been, and it will be throughout.
And we sat down in a technical meeting, Steve, that was conducted by the president of the CISM Football Committee, and he told all the coaches at that time that if it's above 32 degrees Celsius, we will be taking a midpoint water break, again, in order to allow these players to stay hydrated.
And that made our medical director very happy. One of his first concerns was hydration, heat exposure, which he got very nervous during just the opening ceremony we had one of the players from one of the nations go down. She wasn't feeling good while they were in formation. Now, luckily, she was able to hydrate and get back.
Fell out during the opening comments from one of the presenters.
That's right.
Now, we did see two Republic of Korea players carried off the field on stretchers when they played the other night. And we don't have their condition, but one of them is expected to return to action. The other one, maybe not.
That's right. We don't have a full injury report just yet, but we'll work on that to find out what the status of these players are. And Korea does have the night off tonight.
Cross shot over to the center. Canada still trying to keep it alive. And the United States, they had 9 players down there on defense. Right side, here comes Paulsen. Paulsen controls it. Finds the pass over on the right side. Maggie Paulsen just does a nice job of controlling the middle of that field there. She really does.
You know what? Paulsen didn't try to commit with a header on that one. She read the field, and she was able to get out in front and maintain control.
And she had a very
smart move.
She had to wait for her troops to catch up with her as well.
That's right.
Out of bounds, far side. Canada ball. 76th minute of this contest.
United States looking for their first win of the championship, just as Canada. However, Canada and Netherlands did tie, so they have 1 point each. USA still yet to get on the board. This will give them 3 points if they can maintain.
United States leads 1-0 thanks to the penalty kick by Kristen Cooper.
The enforcer.
Left side sets things up. Canada back on defense. And USA will leave 2 or 3 back at all times, I think, Steve. I mean, they really want to protect that 1 point lead right now. But at the same token, they want to add to it as well.
And they're staying aggressive, and they're keeping the field wide open. Last game, we saw China compress into the center of the pitch. But USA, they're stretching from sideline to sideline. This match is far from over, but Canada, if they want to get on the board, they got to get the ball back down on USA side.
And nice job that time coming out of the goal to take that crossover, if you will, from the right side. Comes Alex Hogg. And just like that, Kristen Cooper takes over. Gets things going back in the other way. Foul on the play. And it goes over to Canada. Official's been busy tonight, but he's done a good job keeping things under control on the pitch. Header back in the other direction. Let's see if the United States can get something going. Kicks out on the right side. Quick run down the right side. Canada's trying to get back on defense. United States trying to move it ahead. And Canada clears it nicely. Over to McClellan. Right side, McClellan will come back to the center. Finds a little bit of space. That goes over to Alex Childs. Childs back over towards the center.
It was Jen Gillette taking control, getting the ball back up.
And now we're playing between the 20s.
There we go.
Left side, a little break on the left side, but down. Down on the turf. Quickly goes Simo. Steve, you know, our only point has come off of a penalty kick tonight. But you cannot lose track of the fact that we got 18 shots on goal compared to only 2 legitimate shots for Canada tonight. And that's the kind of game it's been, plain and simple. And, oh, by the way, how about 17 saves for Alex Hogg?
17 saves. That is impressive. Without that, we'd be looking at a completely different ballgame right now.
And I've said this before, and I will continue to say it. The play of the goalie goes a long, long way in determining the outcome of a game. McClellan clears it in, gets it in the center. Long pass up the left side, blocked nicely by the USA. USA is into control soccer right now. Colton back out to Kelty.
Got roughly 10 more minutes left.
And as I just read you those stats in terms of shots on goal and saves, the stats clearly support the fact that the United States has lived on Canada's half of the field throughout the course of this game. But Canada has said, I hear you knocking, but you're not coming in. Once again, we are back tomorrow night in the 2018 CISM Women's Football Championship when Bahrain will take on Brazil, 8 p.m. here from El Paso, Texas. Fort Bliss, second largest installation in the United States Army. At least that's what we're told. Talk to the people at, well, Fort Bragg, Fort Hood, maybe one or two other places. But landmass, well, you can't argue. They've got it here.
We got another substitution here.
Coming out of the game right now for Canada is Melissa Chiron, and coming into the game, that's going to be number 5 for the Canadians, Elaine O'Connell. Did you memorize all these names, Steve?
No. As much as I would like to.
We were asked that earlier tonight.
We had her going.
Yeah.
Team manager for the U.S. asked us if we memorized everybody's names, and you, with a smile, said, "Of course."
Of course we did.
Of course I know everybody's name.
And offsides for the United States. They just got a little ahead of themselves that time, so it'll go back to Canada. But talking about Fort Bliss, it's the nation's air defense headquarters, and it's a community that has grown to over 164,000 people. That includes active duty military, of which they have a German unit stationed here as well. That includes family members, retirees living in this area.
I was here in 99, 2000. It's only a third of that.
It has really grown.
Amazing.
Grown in strategic importance,
Amazing.
Grown in population every way possible.
Spent Y2K during that time frame up in the mountains in the east side of the city with some friends, enjoying the view. Of course, we weren't sure if everything would implode like they talked about with all the computers, and that was the end of the world. But we survived. Now we're here 18 years later.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a little different. You're here under official business this time. Down the left side. But what they've done here is they have invested in the infrastructure. They've also made it the home of the 1st Armored Division. They have Sergeant's Major Academy here. They've got a number of great things and some of the finest MWR programs that the United States Army has to offer. So it's no surprise that Fort Bliss has stepped up and hosted
Another shot on goal.
This world tournament in a world-class manner. Again, Alex Hogg coming up and making a nice play. But Hogg, that time, on that particular save, she had good concentration and a good line on the ball, and it was a straight shot.
And that powerful leg is able to get the ball back up on the U.S. side.
84th minute of the game. USA, I'll use the term that we used the other night with China. USA is showing a high level of being relentless. Down the center. And again, this time knocked out of the way.
And looks like we're going to have a corner kick.
By Emma Owen. Emma Owen has been stepping up and doing some pretty good things tonight, as has Valerie Tilreal when she came into the game. So corner kick from the United States. Out on the far corner is Maggie Paulsen.
And looks like we have a local Fort Bliss gentleman here saying only freedom crossings in the Department of Defense, which is right. This is the only installation where there is a full shopping center, not just the exchange, but we're talking commercial stores.
Oh, what an effort. What an effort. A near miss from that corner kick. And just a diving effort. Great play. So go ahead and continue your thought with Freedom Crossing.
So plenty of eateries, stores. I mean, just a fantastic setting for anybody that is looking for the same type of conditions they would find outside of base. They can get those on base.
I have not been to Freedom Crossing yet. Been here about 6 days, but haven't seen it yet.
All right, we're going.
In fact, Steve, big shot down. That's the enforcer.
Nice.
Oh, that is Kristen Cooper.
And that is some power behind that leg.
Told you she can find the back of the net. She is strong, powerful. She put a good shot together right there, but again, credit Hogg. You know what I was getting ready to tell you is that I've seen basically our lodging and the venue. That's it.
Are you sleeping all day, man? What's going on?
No, nice try. I'm trying to prepare for the game. That's one of the things I spend the day doing, so we don't come in here completely clueless. And we've got another week here, so there's time to get out and see some things. And after the tournament gets going and after we get a little more familiar with these teams and have time to talk to coaches and players and are seeing teams for the second, third, and maybe fourth time, then we got some time maybe to go to the swimming pool or head to Freedom Crossing. We'll see.
My wife and kids came in today. Of course, my son, who's 6, the other day said, "Daddy, you're not allowed to do the water slide until I get there."
Well,
and that's the only excuse to do a water slide is when you actually have a 6-year-old. Because when you're by yourself and you're in your 40s.
Just tell me this. Here comes Canada. Canada putting on the pressure right now. Out of the goal comes Kelly Griffith, and she's not going to allow that pressure to increase. She comes out in great shape. But Canada got behind USA just a little bit on the other side, 87th minute of the ball game. Well, just tell me this. When you go down the slide, please make sure I'm there. I want to see it.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll be the big guy saying, "Wee!"
Yeah, but you also might be the big guy that gets stuck in the middle of the slide, too, when it makes its turn. You never can tell.
I'm not that big, man.
No, but yeah, I'm just saying. I'm there to help, okay? I'm there to help.
Now, I cannot promise I won't cause a tidal wave. Have some of the parents go, "Oh, where's my son? Where's my son?"
I got it. But I have to admit, we have the good fortune to be in some pretty good lodging, and yeah, you're right. They've got a nice pool in the center of that facility in which we happen to be lodged. It is off post, but a lot of thanks to the folks here that help make those arrangements.
We're closing into the final here.
There we
Less
are.
than 2 minutes. Now, I'm not sure how much stoppage time we'll get. We'll get an indication from the 4th referee here shortly. But the USA still can attack. You got Cooper.
Cooper on the right side. She'll bring it back to the center. Left foot towards the center. Play on. Good challenge and good defense that time by Canada. There's a hold, and there's a yellow card. You saw the jersey being grabbed, and a yellow card is being administered to the enforcer, Kristen Cooper. She's been aggressive. She's been active. She's been hard charging all night long. That time grabbed the jersey from behind. Official happened to be in position, saw it. Cooper comes up with the yellow card. That one did not take long to administer. The United States gets it back up the field again. They want to keep it out off of their half of the field and send it back down where they've been for most of the evening, back down the Canadian side of the field. So they cross the midfield line. Canada turns it back again, but there's no help.
Ooh.
Hard shot when that came off of Joycelyn Coe.
Looks like a has a little bit of an Adidas tattoo right there in the face.
Yeah, but credit Co.
Ooh.
She did a good job, and she didn't let it phase her.
No,
she did not back down. Yeah.
That's that North American toughness right there.
That's the North American toughness also displayed by Cooper. Look at that. How about that? She is there in on everything. She's tough. And that yellow card didn't even phase her. And regulation time, we've gone beyond. We are into stoppage time right now. And I'm not for sure how you can tell how much stoppage time is going to be there. I haven't got that one figured out yet.
If we look down at the referees, we can usually see
the United States going to have a corner kick. Now, there was a great play by Hogg on the last corner kick. And let's see if the United States can't find the range again this time. Hogg saved a potential goal last time. And the big ooh and ah and a gasp from the crowd. There's another kick pretty much to the center, and it just gets by an opportunity to head it in. Really nice job from the far corner. And the one on that corner kick was Maggie Paulsen. She just does a great job over there.
At the end of the first half, we saw very clear indication from the fourth referee how much time, but we haven't seen any indication. So, and we do have a player down.
We have a player down. And can't tell exactly what this is. This is a leg injury of some sort. And it appears to me to be a cramp just by the way that massage is going. That's going to be Kristen Cooper that's down, and I'm going to say it's very possibly a cramp, just judging by the way they're going after it right now, and then also considering the action that she's been a part of tonight. She's been go 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 go. At some point, that's going to catch up to you, Steve. Or they're going to bring out the stretcher. But that's a little bit of a surprise because up she pops.
Yep.
So she's going to be helped off the field. Will Kristen Cooper. It could be a hamstring.
And there we have our team doc, Commander Synovia Johnson, and our athletic trainer, Mr. Gordon Sinning from Camp Pendleton. Doc Johnson's from Gulfport with the Seabees.
Yeah, I'm looking at Cooper over on the side, and she's stretching things out right now. So I don't know if that's a hamstring or a cramp, I should say.
Right. That's looking like a cramp. The way she's moving, the way they were treating her. She's ready to come back in.
She's ready to come back in. So that's a good sign. Glad to see it. Canada's ball, stoppage time.
And she's back out on the field.
Cooper's back, and I hear an applause coming from the fans on this side of the stadium, those supporters behind the United States team.
And we have a John Hernandez with the Penn State logo. I'm seeing on Facebook.
How can you recognize the Penn State logo? You want to enlighten our viewers?
We are.
We
Penn
are
State.
Penn State. Yeah, and you always will be.
We sniff it. You see the logo.
Yeah,
I smell logo.
I smell logo.
I feel logo. Said Spidey sense.
Happy Valley. Left side. Colton alone on the left side. Down she goes. Cross the center. Nobody there.
Oh.
Jump opportunity, but getting there just a little bit too late.
And we are in the 90th minute. We have stoppage time. That's why you're seeing the clock stuck at 90. We don't normally play the extra time.
We don't show it. Let's put it like that.
Yes.
And unless Canada gets busy, Steve, this is the way this thing is going to end. United States, 3 people back on defense.
We saw a lot of aggressive offensive attacks from the United States, but Canada would not let any more than just 1 goal go in, and that only goal came from a penalty kick.
That's kind of hard to believe the way the United States has been knocking on the door. See if Canada can't mount one more charge. Here comes McClellan. She's coming up the center. She's going to take control. Good lead pass, but nice job by the USA to knock it out again. They take over control very quick.
That's Amy Horney.
Wow.
Able to get the ball back upfield. Hogg comes out, and they're going to challenge her. And that's time.
There's your time. As this match has come to an end, the United States has defeated the Canadian women's team by the score of 1-0, and the USA has won their first game in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. It was a hard-fought match all the way around, Steve Denote, but I'm going to tell you, you got to credit both teams. United States got the break. They got the break on the penalty kick that Kristen Cooper just slammed into the net for the only goal of the night to give the United States a 1-0 lead. They hung on, and they came away with the victory. I'll tell you, a hard-fought contest by the USA. They had 20 shots on goal. 20 shots on goal and did not score a goal. That's because Alex Hogg had 18 saves in the goal for Canada. It was that kind of a match. You've got to give credit to both teams here tonight. But the United States, they've got to feel good about this victory.
Absolutely. And there we are. We've seen that sportsmanship down between our North American partners.
You have to have a lot of respect for your opponents when you just play head-to-head like they just did, and you come away with a 1-0 victory. You look back at this game, and you got to say, you know what, we did everything we could. And we're talking about both sides here. And the United States has to feel fortunate to come away with a 1-0 win over their northern neighbors.
Absolutely. And you see the Americans thanking everybody. And I'm sure you're going to have the Canadians also come up just like we had, because there's quite a few Canadians in the stands tonight.
And here comes the United States women's team across the pitch. The signs are up. Team USA all the way. A few flags in the stands and an appreciative crowd. Over comes the United States team to say thank you to their fans for supporting us here tonight. We got it done, they said. We got to win. Thank you, and we appreciate you. That's their message to the fans here at Stout Field in Fort Bliss, Texas. Well, Steve, it's been a good 4th day of action here in this year's championship competition. First match earlier tonight, China and the Netherlands. China victorious over the Netherlands. Hard-fought, good match earlier tonight, and we see the same thing tonight again in the second match, that being between the United States and Canada, with USA coming away 1-0 as the winner. Steve Denote, your closing thoughts on this, the 4th day of the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship.
Great action all around. We had a great match earlier between China and the Netherlands. Netherlands held their defense. That was just a 1-0 victory as well. And again, Canada held just one. So we're seeing a lot of defense from Canada and Netherlands. They just need to get the offense turned on.
You know, sometimes, you know, you win on your defense. And that's kind of the way it went tonight, just a little bit. Winning on the defense.
That's right.
Well, we're looking forward to tomorrow in the 2018 CISM Women's World Football Championship. Our coverage resumes with Group B action when Bahrain will meet Brazil at 8 o'clock Mountain Time here at Fort Bliss, Texas. That'll be 10 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States, 7 p.m. over on the Pacific Coast, wherever you are in the world. You can do the math, but we're going to hope that you're with us tomorrow night as Bahrain takes on Brazil right here at Stout Field. Remember, check into Armed Forces Sports social media channels like Facebook and Twitter for the latest live stream listings. And as always, visit armedforcesports.com for the latest in match results. That's going to do it today from Stout Field here at Fort